Hey everybody, happy Friday. October 1st. Holy cow, where did September go? Welcome to the StudentLoanJustice.org live stream. My name is Alan Collins. I'm founder of StudentLoanJustice.org. We are the oldest, largest, and in many ways only truly grassroots citizens group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. If you found us through our petition, welcome. We're glad glad you're here. We're glad you found us. What took you so long? We now have, I think, about 1,060,000 or so signatures on that petition, which is great. We should have probably 25 or 30 million people on that petition, believe it or don't. There are roughly 40 million people who are deeply distressed over their federal-only student loans. So there's probably about 55 million people in the country with student loans, public and private, federal and private. Of the 45 million federal student loan borrowers, right around 38,000 were never going to be able to repay their student loans, even before the pandemic. So that is now easily up to 40 million people. So there's no good reason we can't have 25, 30 million signatures on our petition calling for the presidential cancellation of all federally owned student loans and the return of bankruptcy protections to all student loans, federally owned, not federally owned. So I've got a couple of announcements here. Oh, and by the way, if I can see your comments, we're doing this live on Facebook, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube. If I can see the comments, I will very gladly respond to them if I can see them. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to call this the action of the week. Actually, action of the next 2 weeks, because this is kind of a big deal. We are screening our film at the USC Film School, which is pretty hoity-toity in the film world, if I may say so myself. It's actually my alma mater, and many of my friends were in the film school, and I happen to know that it's kind of a big deal. So fight on. That's right, Lisa, fight on. So I am thrilled to announce it October 14th at, I think, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. But I posted a flyer on the group. I will post a link to the registration here on this conversation after this live stream right here now. It's free. Anybody can go. So sign up for it and do that. It's going to be, well, it's high profile in a number of ways. Number one, USC Film School, which is good and augurs well for the promotion of the film and so forth. But also Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer will be doing the opening remarks for it. And some other things that I'm not going to say at this point, but suffice it to say, it's a great thing. It's with the Kasdan Institute. Thanks to Lisa in Los Angeles for making this happen. She is just rock and rolling, by the way. Also, Rabbi Jason Rosner will be a panelist on that. Jason is a longtime member of StudentLoanJustice.org. So, yeah, we're just very happy about all of this stuff. But check out the link and register. I don't know what the upper limit for how many people we can actually have on these things is, because it's a Zoom thing. So I somehow think that space may be somewhat limited. So you probably want to sign up for it as early as you can. So there's that. Oh, you know what? It's actually 7:45 Pacific Standard Time. I think I read that wrong. It's a West Coast thing. So 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's going to be actually quite late on the East Coast. Which is good because I'm a night bird, so that works for me. Anyways, so yeah, we're looking forward to that. And by the way, go to our film website, scaredtodebtseries.com. Support it in any way that you can. You know, this film has been 5 years in the making, folks. It's a film series now, so it's going to be a documentary, 6-part documentary, and we've come a long ways, I have to say. And I personally have driven thousands of miles in the making of this film. So I think you'll be pleased. The first episode is very strong. Hopefully you had a chance to see it. If not, I think there may be an opportunity here coming up at some point. I think we may be airing the whole entire part 1 of the series at this thing, 7 and 9, at the Kasdan Institute, which is sort of part of the University of Southern California. So yeah, do that. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Couple other announcements. ResistBot. We just started a thing on ResistBot. We've used ResistBot in the past. Yeah, it may work. We decided to try it again. They've really updated their interface and so on and so forth. They've expanded its capabilities a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. So, it's not only the screening of the film, by the way, but it's also a panel discussion, I should have mentioned. So it'll be me and Mike. Senator Schumer is opening it, which is great. Some other guests that I don't think I should say anything yet about, so I won't. So yeah, do that. So ResistBot, we're doing a ResistBot thing. Look down again. I will post on this discussion a link where you can. In fact, I think I can just tell you, if you just text, it's a cell phone thing. It's a way to send quick messages to members of Congress. So if you just text the 2 words, sign PSQ VFQ. So SIGN, sign PSQ VFQ. Text that to 50409. And ResistBot will take it from there. I will say no more, but it's a pretty cool thing. Thanks to Jeremiah for making that happen for us. So, folks, if you haven't noticed, we're kicking ass right now. As I said, the petition that we started March 2020 now has over 1 million signatures on it. That petition ignited the entire public conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. It is now at the top of the news and probably more of a controversial topic than I would have hoped. I knew it was going to be controversial when we first rolled it out. We're really stepping on a lot of toes with this. Because remember, before we started the petition, all the talk about student loan cancellation was like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. They're like, yeah, cancel student loans. And here's how I'm going to pay for it. We're going to do a Wall Street tax or some kind of a tax. Well, that's all unnecessary. The president has the power to cancel student loans by executive order without needing any money from the Treasury. So in other words, I'm not saying it's free, but you don't need any money from the Treasury to do it, like $0. And you don't add anything. You add 0 to the national debt. That's when you cancel loans by executive order. Because the taxpayers paid for the loans many years ago, they shouldn't have to pay twice. And lo and behold, the Higher Education Act of 1965 gives the President and the Secretary of Education all the power needed to literally draw a line through the ledger and cancel the loans without needing Congress to appropriate a dime, without adding a penny to the national debt. So I'm very glad the petition started rocking and now is over 1 million signatures. But like I said a minute ago, we should have 25 or 30 million signatures on the petition. It is by no means a foregone conclusion that the president will be canceling these loans. You've hopefully read the articles yourself. There's a lot of controversy around it. A lot of people oppose student loan cancellation by executive order. So the more people we can get on that petition, the more better. And remember, folks, we got this. But there's another nuance you need to know about. So, to put it very pithily, I will just say I don't think we are going to get meaningful loan cancellation unless and until we get bankruptcy protections returned to the loans first. Now, I could be wrong. For example, we could, in a perfect world, get 2 to 3 Republican governors, like governors from places like the state of Georgia, state of Florida, state of Texas. If we could get the three governors of those three states, all Republicans, to stand up and say, Mr. President, enough. Cancel these loans. I will not let my great state of Texas or my great state of Georgia or my great state of Florida be conquered and enslaved by the debt. If we were able to make that happen, then I think we would see the president cancel the loans. Like maybe all the loans. Certainly he would do a very serious cancellation, no doubt about it in my mind. But that hasn't happened yet, folks. I hope it does, and we are fighting very hard to make that happen, and you should be helping us. But that notwithstanding, I don't think we're going to see any meaningful loan cancellation in the current environment without, at a minimum, having the threat of bankruptcy back on our side. Now, some people accuse me of being a little biased because for the first 16 years of for the first 15 years of our existence, we fought exclusively for the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans. It really lies at the heart of the heart of the problem. And a lot of people out there now today, particularly some of the younger people who are fighting for student loan cancellation, they're like, no, we don't want bankruptcy. We want student loan cancellation. And I couldn't agree with them more. That's true. But the way it works, the way reality is, without the threat of bankruptcy on our side again returned, the loan cancellation that we're likely to see will be much, if not exactly like the loan cancellation we have already seen. Look at, for example, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, okay? Sounds good on paper, looks great. A lot of people, hundreds of thousands, 500,000 people more, have worked in a nonprofit for 10 years. They thought they were getting their loans canceled. How many actually got them canceled? Not hundreds of thousands, more like hundreds, like 400 or like less than 500. So the success rate for public service loan forgiveness is 1.4%. So in other words, 98.6% of everyone got screwed out of public service loan forgiveness. Look at income contingent repayment going back to 1993. Millions of people were in that program. The various income contingent repayment programs dating back to like 1993. Millions of people. Of those millions of people, 31 people ever actually got to the point where they actually qualified for loan forgiveness. And I hate saying loan forgiveness, guys. We don't have to take this. This lending system is unconstitutional. It is viciously predatory. We like to say loan cancellation. So the only time you'll ever see the word forgiveness come out of my mouth are in the context of the student loan forgiveness program. It's a cruel joke, guys. It's a cruel joke. Yeah, they say they're going to revise it now. They've been saying the Department of Education has no desire or intentions of canceling any loans, ladies and gentlemen. That's the one thing that we've learned. We've learned quite a few things, but that's one very big thing that we've learned over the years and decades of fighting this problem. Now, any well-intentioned forgiveness or I say cancellation program that might be given to Congress, like, for example, Elizabeth Warren's up to $50,000 loan cancellation program proposal. That will be bureaucratized to death because that's what the Department of Education does. They have no desire, no intention of canceling any loans. So just like the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, just like income-based repayment, if you're in IBR, I'm sorry, you're just, statistically speaking, you're probably not going to make it through. That's just the reality. You might want to think and hope that you will, but the fact of the matter screams otherwise. And so too, with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, every year they deny 30% of their employment certification forms. That's just one of the many myriad of ways that you can be kicked out of public service loan forgiveness. Which doesn't sound so bad, like, okay, 30%, so maybe 70% should make it through. No. You have to get those, like 10 years worth of those ECFs approved. And statistically speaking, it turns out that the odds of getting 10 ECFs approved for 10 years is about 2.8%. So 2.8 people out of 100 will actually make it through all 10 years. That's just the statistics. That's literally just a very simple calculation. 0.7 to the 10th, which is the combined probability that you will make it through all 10 years. So folks, this is nonsense. We don't have to take this. We don't have to put up with this. If you're watching me, you've probably been screwed on your loans. As I said, even before the pandemic, 80% of everyone was never going to be able to repay on their loans. That's just a cartoonish type statistic that I just put to you. You know, the default rate for subprime home mortgages was 20%, like 1 in 5. Well, now, walking around today, everybody with student loans, 4 in 5. We're never going to be able to pay their loans, even before the pandemic. So guys, this lending system is catastrophically failed like no other catastrophically failed lending system in the history of this country. We don't have to put up with this. We just threw trillions of dollars out into the country in pandemic stimulus, right? Including $1 trillion in PPP loans that don't need to be repaid. All that stimulus that we've thrown out over the past year and a half, like what, $5 trillion or something? That all added to the national debt. That all required money from Treasury. You know, President Trump, the biggest mistake of his presidency was that he didn't cancel all federally owned student loans by executive order. He could have done it at any time, and he would have won the election if he had done it. Biggest mistake of Trump's presidency. So too, Biden can do it right now. In fact, Biden could cancel all federally owned student loans by the time I finish this live stream here tonight. No congressional approval, no congressional appropriation, which is maybe the most important thing. Nothing added to the national debt. The Higher Education Act of 1965 is very clear on this point. And believe me, we reviewed the law very carefully before we started our petition. So anyways, guys, this is really at this point kind of a numbers game. We should have the numbers, you know, with 1 million plus people on our petition. I can now proudly say that we have about 2% of all student loan borrowers here in our skippy little group. And I'm just stunned that that's true. But, you know, I think we need like somewhere around, I would like to have like around 10 or 20% of all student loan borrowers on our petition. I think that would virtually guarantee a good, clean death to this lending system. You know, I think a certain critical mass is, we're getting close. You know, so 1 million signatures. If we had 3 million signatures on our petition, I think that would maybe put us over the top. If we had 10 million, I think that would for sure put us over the top. I think that would be a no-brainer. If we had 20 million, forget about it. We're done. We're done. So how quickly that petition grows depends entirely upon you. So, yeah, folks, I can only tell you, if you're within the sound of my voice, this group right here, as unlikely as it may sound, is the tip of the spear in this very important, I would say, constitutional American battle. Right here, this group. Yeah, it's true. In fact, I would say not only are we the tip of the spear, we're in many ways, we're kind of the spear. Like, we're the eye of the storm. We're kind of the storm. You know, there are a couple other groups out there fighting this battle. But, you know, this is where it's at, guys. I think maybe I'll just leave it there. So we are the pioneers here on this group. We would not be talking about, I don't think we'd be talking about student loan cancellation by executive order today in the public conversation, but for the efforts of the people on this group. I am almost positive we would not have good bankruptcy legislation to fight for in the Congress right now, like we do. S-2598, and I should have said a little bit more about that. But yeah, I don't think we would have good legislation to be fighting for right now, but for the people in this group who have made that happen. And I will have more to say about bankruptcy at some point. Hey, I see we have a couple of comments here. I'll see if I can get to them quickly. Heather Taylor says, that's a good point. Heather Taylor says, we need to improve search engine optimization, and Vanessa Meyer and I will have a strategy resource guide posted in the AV Club tonight. You know what? That's a great point, Heather. Art can change the world. Heather started an audiovisual club, AV Club, just like last week, or maybe this week, within the past few days, let's say. So if you're an artist or even an aspiring artist, either I or Heather will post the link to that AV Club in the comments below. If you're watching us on YouTube, you should really come to Facebook so that you can be a little more interactive with us. Join that AV Club. That's probably our weakest spot, is getting good art out there. Well, we've got a lot of weaknesses actually, but art can change the world. Art can say a million times more than a talking head like me. People... I'm sick of the sound of my own voice. Honestly, I can't stand... I'm so sick of talking about this issue. People's eyes glaze over and they're like, enough. Fucking student loans. But art can really put that in a completely different context. Art can really harness people's emotions in a way that I certainly cannot. No talking head person really can. So join that AV Club and help out. We are rocking out some super good art lately, including this really cool push pin, or whatever, button, that Anna Mortensen was kind enough to make happen. So, yeah, dudes, we need art. We love art. I guess the film is art, so that's a case in point. Join that audio-visual club. Hey, good, Rachel Warner. I just spoke to all that stuff, so that's great. Candy, bless Haydorn, says, specific loan type, specific employer. Oh, her comment just disappeared. It was something about public service, but yeah, public service needs a lot of help, guys. It's failed. It has failed. And even the temporary expanded public service loan forgiveness program, that's kind of a dead man walking, because it's got to be funded. Congress has to appropriate $1 for every dollar in cancellation. So that's not a long-term solution, guys. And all the stuff they're saying right now about fixing public service loan forgiveness, that's all fine and good. But guys, the people who already got screwed, I don't think there's much of a way that they're going to be able to make them whole. I think they're pretty much screwed. And the idea is, hey, we fixed the program, so just stick it out for another 10 years. And, then finally 10 years. I know we said 10 years ago, but no, just stick it out for 10 more years, and then your loans will be canceled. Guys, that's just nonsense. Don't drink that Kool-Aid. Don't believe that nonsense. We've been doing this for many years, and the Department of Education has made any number of efforts to improve, revise, overhaul any number of programs that have been put to them to cancel loans. It's nonsense. They want to waste your life. That's what they do. The Department of Education is not good people. They have no desires of canceling any student loans. They have every desire and intention of fucking us around. Pardon my French, but it's true. They are not to be trusted. And this is why getting bankruptcy protections back is so important. Maybe I didn't finish that point earlier. With bankruptcy protections back in place, all of a sudden, the Department of Education is going to be like, oh, shit. The jig is up. We actually have to cancel loans now, because if we don't cancel loans, there's going to be a wave of bankruptcy filings larger than any wave of bankruptcy filings in U.S. history, including during the Depression. I kid you not. During a typical year, about 1 million people file for bankruptcy for any reason. Actually, a little bit less. My best estimate is that if they do nothing and they return bankruptcy protections tomorrow, and they continue to do nothing, something like 20 or 25 million people are going to be strongly compelled to file. So that's enough to overwhelm the bankruptcy courts to the point of seizure. They don't want to do that. They do not want to be the people that force 20, 25 million people, Americans,
into bankruptcy for the crime of going to college. It's just ridiculous. So that's why bankruptcy is so important, guys. Whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy does not matter. I think that's probably the most important policy thing that I'm going to say tonight. Hey, Rachel. Okay, I'm gonna have to make this the last comment of the night, guys. I'm sorry. I have to keep it short. So Rachel says, can you go into more detail about this Navient thing? I only heard a little bit about it. Maximus, what are the implications? Good point, Rachel. So the big news this week, and it was actually, even I would say it's huge news, is the nation's, I think, largest servicer, Navient, aka Sallie Mae, formerly known as Sallie Mae, dropped out of the student loan program. They will no longer be servicing loans. This is the second huge servicer to drop out of the program, and the third of 8 servicers to drop out just in the past, I'm going to say 2 or 3 months. So FIA, Fed Loan Servicing, they dropped out a couple months ago, but just like 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago, Navient announced they were dropping out. That's very big news in that it's clear evidence that this lending system is literally falling apart. The lending system is falling apart. It is, in my view, it's vanishing into a mist of illegitimacy. The FIAs, Federal Loan Servicing, and Navients, they are running for cover like rats abandoning a sinking ship, which the federal student loan system is, a sinking ship at this point. But what are the real ramifications? A lot of people are out there. Okay, so what does that mean for me? And that is the important question. And I will be honest, it doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much, guys. So, if your loans were serviced by Navient, yeah, you're going to have a new servicer. The name of that company is going to be Maximus, INC. Maximus, a lot of people like to call it like the biggest company that nobody knows anything about. They kind of they lurk in the shadows of the federal government. They're a global company. They do deals all over the country, all over the world. Not a good company, guys. They're not a good company. In fact, I would say they're not. There's no reason to think that they're going to treat people any better than Navient treats people. And in fact, up to this point, this company Maximus, they have specialized in handling defaulted student loans. So it's basically a servicer, but it's also a sort of a shakedown company. I'm sure they have a collection arm as well, where it's basically like a bunch of scum-sucking collection goons, but they are also a servicer. So these are not good people. Navient was not good people. Maximus are not good people. They are, they're the swamp. They're the student loan swamp. So as a practical matter, there's going to be a lot of chaos. They'll probably screw up your loan's paperwork in some way, shape, or form. They'll probably find a way to screw you in the transition. But maybe the most important thing I'll say on that whole Navient dropping out thing is, guys, it is a big story. It is very significant in that it signifies the end of this lending system, hopefully sooner rather than later. But bankruptcy protections remain gone from the loans. Statutes of limitations remain gone from the loans. Fair debt collection practices remain essentially gone from federal student loans. Truth in lending still does not exist for federal student loans. So nothing in the infrastructure around us, nothing in the lending, borrowing, collecting, servicing environment has changed. So, yeah, it's big news, but don't get too blown away. This is no time to be popping the champagne corks. Let's just put it that way. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, Navient's gone. Yeah, knife in the back, pop the champagne. Well, no, guys, that's not it. The problem's not solved. The problem's not even affected, really, in many ways. So, okay, folks. Well, hey, I've gone a little bit longer than I was thinking. But remember, the first thing I said tonight, the USC Film School talk that we're giving, sign up for that. I think you'll enjoy it. I know it's 2 weeks away, which is a little while, but we will be making more announcements about this here on out. In the meantime, be sure to check at our websites, studentloanjustice.org. We do daily actions on this group. You know, this is not a wait, watch, and worry thing. You can't sit there and go, hey, is the problem solved yet? No, no, no. You got to put your time in. You've got to put forth the effort. Go to our website, studentloanjustice.org. We do daily actions almost every day. Go to our daily updates and do the past week's worth of actions. They're quick. Sometimes they only take literally like 10 seconds. It's like retweet this, retweet that, or paste this link somewhere, or send an email. Very quick actions, where if everybody that signed our petition, everybody on our group actually did them, we would overwhelm everybody, and this lending program would be gone. I kid you not. We have a great muscle to flex, guys, but only when you, sitting there, right, I'm talking to you. No, the people that are watching this probably are doing the hard work. I can see the names. But, you know, for every Heather and Candy and Rachel and others who I know are doing the work, and it's not hard work, it's just a daily kind of a grind, there are probably 90 or 80 people that aren't doing jack, and they think we're going to solve this problem for them. No, no, no. Don't work like that. You got to put your own work around into this thing here on this block with this problem. Bad paraphrase from a movie filmed in Los Angeles, Training Day, Denzel Washington. You got to put your own work around here on this block, homie. You got to do your own. You got to do your own stuff. So go to our website, look at the daily updates, do those actions. You'll be pulling your weight in gold if you do that. So with that, yeah, there's so much we could be talking about right now, Heather. But I will leave it there at that. I'm excited. I hope you can tell by the gleam in my eye that I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. After 16 freaking years of doing this, I'm ready to be done. Are you not also? So make it happen, guys. You know what to do. If you don't know what to do, then watch this live stream again. Pretty simple. Let's do this. We got this. We're it. You're it. Your loans, your problem. Good luck. Godspeed. And God bless everybody. I'll do one last little take out here. Oh, and I'll do a little kitty shot for Gordon. Kitty, what are you doing? What are you doing, little kitty? Okay. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Check back soon.